we're going to start learning our selected repertoire for the piano proficiency exam. My idea is that we alternate and do the minuets one week and then the more contemporary pieces the next week, and kind of go back and forth. As we get closer, we'll spend more time polishing. So this is your week to really sit and learn the notes. You can use it as a break from your test practicing time. So what I want to do today is work on just hands separate, and I'll walk you through some of the fingerings that are going on, okay? And then we'll do the same. Then we'll start with the Haydn ones. This is the Haydn one. The next video, we will go on to the Bach example. Okay, so take a look. We are in 3/4. We start on a pickup right at the beginning of the first measure, so make sure you're aware of that. And we are definitely in G major, so you have to watch out for those F sharps. Other than that, everything other sharp is marked in. One important note, I do not care if don't do the repeats unless you're just dying to do the repeats. They're not necessary. So with that being said, let's start with our right hand first. Okay, so first let's sight read through, and I will kind of pause and stop in places where I think that the fingering is really important. If they've written it in, we're going to follow that as needed, because it's better to have a fingering than just making up one. Okay? All right, so we're starting with 1, 3 for that first interval. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now right here on the top notes, 3, 5, 3, 4, and keep 4 there. Now you're going to have to readjust a little bit because we want 1 and then 2 on A, and then you're going to bring your thumb up a little bit right here. 4, 2, 3, 5, and then you're going to hop. So we measure 5 between the second and third beat. You're going to go from 5 on D to 2 on D. With the staccato, it should make it a little bit easier. So let's actually start right at measure 5. So 3 on B, 5 on the first D, 2 on the second D. Good. Next measure, just keep everything where it is. 2, F sharp. Then if you take a look ahead at the next measure, 5, 3 on that third, so you're going to pick this up. Left again, because we're going to go 5, 3, 4, 2. Good. Okay, so now we're ready for the pickup into measure 9. Basically, if they ask you to do stuff like that, do it because it's going to help you get around. And if you get to the point where you're able to add an articulation, the fingering will help. Okay, so pick up to measure 9. So 1, 2, 1, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1. Whoops, sorry, 4, 4, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then we're going to do 3, 5, 5, 2, 5. Pick up your finger because you should be on 2, and then a measure 15, 5 on E, and this is a triplet. And then over to 2 for that last note. Okay? If all you do is just play around with those fingerings and work on those this week, that's great. I would suggest rewinding and doing that as many times as you need to if you can't quite remember, and to write things down and pause as you go. Okay, with that being said, let's go back to the beginning and do the same with the left hand, okay? So there's no pickup for the left hand, so I'm just going to give you 2 measures, and then this one, lots of fingering changes, so we'll go through it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, 4. Now in that rest, use that time to practice getting down and making sure that you're in this D for measure 3. Okay? Right now, eventually you'll be able to fix that rest, but if it takes a bit longer than 1 beat, that's okay. Just make sure that you're on that correct D, and then we'll keep going. So 5, 1, 3, 2 on F sharp, 5, 1, 3, 2. And then in the breast, be looking ahead to measure, I guess it is 7 now. I've been losing track. So 1 on G, 3 on C, 2 on C sharp, and then 1, 5 for those octave Ds. Now you have a little bit of time looking ahead. So in that time, make sure that you get up to that next note, 1 on B on the second beat of measure 9. B, A, G sharp. And look ahead. We've got 1 on A, so you're gonna have to move. So let's start. We'll pretend we're starting around measure 10. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, F sharp. Look ahead. We got G down there. It's the same thing as the first measure. If you can look and notice the similarities, the same fingerings. 5, 1, 3, 2. Look ahead. G. We're gonna have our thumb on G. G. 3 on C. 1, 5. And I would do 2 on that last note. 2 or 3. 3 is a more stable finger, but it may be easier just for you to grab that 2 since it's right there. It's up to you. So obviously there are some fingerings I'm going to be a little bit more picky about. Mainly, I don't want to see any of this stretch. You should not be stretching that makes my hand hurt just thinking about it. None of this stretch, none of that stretch. Okay. All right. So this week I just want you to for the next 2 weeks just focus on getting the notes learned hand separately. And then as it goes, if you find like, oh, this is a piece of cake, start putting your hands together. If you need that time, develop those notes. Okay? All right.